Welcome traders. I just want to walk you through a couple of trades I did. This was actually last night. This was the FTSE 6700, obviously a big number. This is actually the daily 200 EMA down here. I mentioned this in the room. And we undershot it, which is very, very common with a big number. It can be anything from, sometimes they undershoot it. So it could be anywhere around here is the area to watch. So if you, one thing you could do is if you see it dip under there, buy a dip. If you've done your analysis properly, buy a dip and keep your stop just out of trouble underneath this level here, and then see if that can work up. I actually took this off at 6,800 for just over 100 points. But the other thing to mention about this is a 5-minute chart, but notice these three waves. This is very, very common for a market that is getting ready to do some kind of move, albeit small or large. And you'll see this, it works in all time frames. I'll give you a couple of other examples in a minute. But just watch out for that, and watch out for the undershoot, watch out for the three wave. This actually picked up in about an hour into the US session. Was a good one just to hold over. The FTSE has been a lagger, so I bought it primarily because of the 200, because of this big number, because of the way it was behaving, and last but not least, and least important, because it's a lagger. And just because an instrument's a lagger doesn't mean to say it's going to catch up, but as long as you've got other pivots and levels in your favour, then that is always an option, I think. The other trades I did today in the room was this. Shorted the euro yen. Now I specifically didn't look for big targets today because the monthly S3 was down here, or just underneath here. So I mean, monthly S3 means an instrument is very extended. So you can see, this is one trade. The actual trade I'm talking about here is this second trade here. I've just illustrated another trade I did earlier in the Euro session. Shorted that down to this trend line support. She undershot it a bit and got a few points out of that. I think this other slide just shows you this is the Euro session trade, where got a few points here, and just kept shorting this fib level, and then just took it off at support. Because it was, it's quite a reasonable move to the upside here. So it was showing some short covering, particularly as we're getting to very much towards the end of the week. I don't think that's a good time to look for bigger targets. Right, now I'm going to share with you a mistake I made today as I pull up the charts. I want to get the pound yen on and drag this. Let's illustrate this a bit more clearly by dragging it down. Pound yen on a 3-hour chart. Why 3 hours? Because it's a fib number. If you want to keep on the right side of the trend, then it's the bigger the time frame, then the clearer you'll see the trend. Here we are coming off at 185. Again, three waves, 1, 2, 3. There's the neckline. We came down to the monthly pivot, pushed back into resistance in the early part of the week, and then continued down to, or just above 180.20 is where we pivoted at the end of the day. But I suspect that's just short covering, not so much a reversal. I will look to see if this can hold. And certainly, if we are going to hold tomorrow and Friday, then we might undershoot it and then start to base, wiggle around, and then start to close higher. Similar story to this sort of situation. This took a good sort of day or so to base and push up. That was obviously much quicker, just shot down there and bounced back up. But here we took a couple of weeks, and again 3 waves, 1, 2, 3. Third one undershot, common, and then we get the nice move up. So just watch out to see if we're going to wiggle around here and then potentially push up. Otherwise, I've got a very long-term trend line coming from the low in October 16 to the low of Feb 3, and it ties in with a monthly S1. When you get that sort of tie-in, it makes me think that the market could well want to do that. You give it, yeah, that's one big wave, two waves. We could get another wave that will drag us down, at which point, and we might even undershoot it, at which point we might do a 3-wave and then start to climb back up. But we'll see. I'll keep you posted on that one. So I will look to see if this is going to hold, but I'm very wary of the situation the daily chart's in. And you know, there's the push up and the rollover from 185, and here's the trend line again on the daily front, which I picked off the first main low here. Actually, if I picked off that low, that pushes the trend line right down to 175. This is why, you know, trend lines are just sort of guide ropes to me. They're not big lines in the sand, because you can draw them in different ways, so they're not totally reliable. They're just guides. That's why you don't see my smaller time frames that often with trend lines on them, because I'm much more interested in horizontal support and resistance and big numbers. So it could easily still fall further into 950 or beyond, and then potentially pull back up. You know, it is a very bullish chart. I do think you know, the pound will come back into favour once we get a little bit more data down the pipeline to support it and pick it up. See, I'm just wondering as well, where you get a big bar that bursts up and has left a lot of traders out of the market, you quite often find that over a period, and this can work again, works in small time frames, but in a time frame like this, we might well come all the way back to retest that, undershoot it, and then find a foot. But there's certainly no reversal there at the moment in this daily chart. Low stochastics, RSI just under the midline, but no reversal signal. So I do not want to start getting heavily into that at this stage until I get some clearer signals. Let's have a look at how we ended up on the Dow after that big push. That's just narrowly closed above the 50 EMA, certainly closed above the monthly pivot. So that, you know, a new low close above in this short sequence could potentially see us push into 18.5, or certainly 18 sometime soon if we get some follow through. I think, I mean, following the 3-wave idea, we've got 3 little waves here before it breaks up. You've got 3 little waves there. I'm just wondering if, you know, we need some more messing around, some more dips before this is really ready to go. But that is, you know, one indication this market is not prepared to relent and capitulate. Yeah, it is looking, you know, the dips are very much getting bought. I haven't shown you the euro yen, so that's pulled right up to 900. Is that reversal? No. To me, that's just a pause. You know, it's got very extended. Like I said, S3 is you know, big stretch to the downside. They've got divergence RSI here. So if we've got a new low, but with a higher low on the RSI, and that could mean we're in for a bigger a bigger bounce. So that would be nice, because I would then look to get short higher up and then get another leg down. So if you look, we get 1, 2, 3 moves down here. We get A, B, C. So the C wave will be into this resistance area, and the D wave will be next once that gets retested. So I will just mark these levels up here. So that's the Sunday Open, to see if that is going to be the case. Okay, gold, strength of the dollar, just pushing that lower. Oil, inching its way down, just not holding it. Notice how it got low highs once we touched this 50 EMA. So they could just pull the plug and come and start testing this S2 and S3. Euro US, let's catch up with where that's got to. That's Euro US is very similar to the Euro Yen. Just pausing. And we already looked at that one, haven't we? The pound yen, pound US. Finding a footing, not reversal signal yet, but finding footing. Hope that helps. If you want to join us in the room and trade some of the setups that I showed you on the slides, then drop me a line and I'll give you the link to the room. Alright, happy trading, stay safe, and see you at the next video.